Tech blows up. How do you respond? Customer gets upset. How do you respond? This makes a difference. I tell people all the time, it's easy to do business with a company when everything's going fine. You don't get to see the real company until there's a problem. And I used to tell my clients all the time when I started working with them, I said, on the off chance you ever have a problem, you're going to find out why people stay with us. Because I am going to go so out of my way to make it right for you, you're going to be blown away by it. You got to set expectations for growth during the hiring process. You have to set an expectation for training during the hiring process. When I ask a tech, tell me about your last training class, and he goes, oh, I don't go to training anymore, I don't need it. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you, I'll let you know. Right? Who doesn't need training? I teach and I need training. The truth is, there's too many shop owners out there that are waiting for their team to finally start growing on their own. And the reality is that will never, ever happen. What you're going to have to do is recognize that you need to be the catalyst of their change. The way you're going to do that is by setting an expectation where you see the potential, you expect the potential, and you demand the potential. And I'm promising you that you will be one of their people. What do I mean by that? How many of you can think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that changed the trajectory of your life in some way positively? Right? It is time for you to be one of those people to your team. So that 20, 30, 40 years down the road, they're going, holy crap. If it wasn't for Josh, I wouldn't be who I am or where I am today. But guess what? In the process of being that catalyst, didn't I benefit as well? It's a win-win, okay? You've got to care enough about your people that you're willing to do that. This is the circle of distraction. This is where you go to escape. This is where you go and you say, I'm going to take a break, and you start watching cat videos on YouTube, okay? Or you start making memes and sending them to people. Okay. Then we have the circle of delusion, and this is where everything seems important, but it's because I don't have a clear set of destinations and purpose and everything else, so everybody's activity becomes my activity. Everybody's problem becomes my problem, and this just sucks the life out of you. Then we have the circle of demand. This is where it's stuff you got to do, and it's stuff you could have done, but now guess what? It's stuff that needs to be done now. Okay? Let me give you an example. I was writing this class. I hate creating content. I love teaching it, but I hate sitting down and writing the thoughts down. So I promised Sandy I was going to have this to her like on some Wednesday morning. So Tuesday afternoon, I called my wife up and said, hon, I'm not coming home tonight because I hadn't started yet. Okay? Huh? That's how the E got missing. So I stayed all night and I built this. It takes anywhere from 8 to 12 hours for me to build an outline, and then we have to build the PowerPoint and then the book. It takes a long time. But it was a demand because I made a promise. Does that make sense? Or it might be a deadline. My taxes are due. This sucks the life out of you, and this saps you. Right? You go home dog tired. You're working hard all day, and you're not moving towards anything. Then we have the circle of decision. This is stuff that needs to be done, but it's not in a hurry. This is where I do my taxes January 15th, and I send them to my accountant so they're done by the end of the month, and I don't have to worry about it on April 15th. This is where I'm doing things proactively, okay? So real quick, I'm just gonna ask you, rate yourself as a percentage of time at the shop. Which circle gets what percentage? When you get the bullseye, you get more energy, you get growth in the business like you never understood you could, you end up with more fulfillment and success. And I want you to think of your techs as the hands, man. They are the ones doing the work, right? Then you got your advisors. They're the eyes and ears and the mouth of the shop. They're the ones that are selling the work, getting it done, and everything like that. Does that make sense? But if we stop here, who's driving the bus? See, this is where you step in. You're the brains now. When you are in the owner role, you are the brains of that human body. You are orchestrating what that human body does and when it does it and how how hard, how strong, how fast. You're the one that does all of that. And you have incredible value here. I'm going to tell you that ownership is the hardest job in the shop. It is also the most thankless job in the shop. Because a lot of times if you espouse to servant leadership, which I do wholeheartedly, you will a lot of times never feel anything but the satisfaction of seeing your team get better and better. And that's okay. But here's the thing. You can talk about your standard all day long. Your standard isn't what you talk about. Your standard is what you accept. You can talk about behavior up here. You got somebody down here that's pissy and crappy to everybody, and you let them stay there. That is your standard. Because you tolerate it. So there's no good help out there. I can't afford to pay somebody. Techs are getting expensive now, aren't they? I was talking to someone earlier, said he threw $50 an hour at a guy, and he said no. I can't let him go because that's the best I'm going to get. What are we missing? You hire these guys that are cheap or cheaper because you think that's all you can afford, but they're the most expensive techs you'll ever have. I found I was very cheap in the beginning. You know when I started getting really value-conscious shoppers and people coming in to get their cars fixed is when I became a value price shopper, not a price-sensitive shopper. Does that make sense? Today, I tell people all the time, I can't afford cheap. I gotta pay better. Because I can't afford to pay for it once, not have it work, and then have to pay more to get it something that does work. Does that make sense? I'd rather pay a little extra and know it's gonna work than to go cheap on the other side. Why would I come to work for you where I'm wet, cold in the winter, steamy, hot heat stroke in the summer, have to have $50,000 to $100,000 of my own tools to make 15 or 20 bucks an hour when I can go to Target today and get $18, $20 an hour. It's air conditioned in the summer. It's warm in the winter. I got benefits and I don't have to spend any money. That is what we're competing with today. It isn't other shops. As an industry, we have got to step our game up. If you're in a hot area, look at air conditioning in your shop. That's the way it is. I don't even care if you rent. Work it out with the landlord. I had one shop down in Florida, and he says, oh, it's too expensive to convert, put air conditioning in my shop. I said, how much is it going to cost you? He says, $150,000. He owns the building. $150,000. We did the math. I said, in the summertime, because it's funny, it's funny, I have a bunch of Florida clients. January, February, and March, they're busting my chops about how nice it is down there and I'm cold. But the other 9 months of the year, they're in hell, right? And here I am, and it's 65, 70, 80 degrees, and I'm like, man, it's nice here today. How's it down there? Shut up. We got to rethink what we say we can't do if we're going to stay in the game and be viable. But here's the other thing. Y'all want the best of the best. How many of you, real quick, how many of you want an A-Tech in the shop? You'd hire an A-Tech right now. All right, fantastic. Well, what about this? What if you actually grow one? I've had shops spend 3 years looking for an A-Tech with 3 B-Techs sitting in the shop with 0 growth and development. Why would you not grow an A-Tech? We're all looking for unicorns. Start growing the damn unicorns. Because here's the thing. For years and years and years, this entire industry has known we have a problem attracting help, right? But everybody thought somebody would do it. Nobody did. Anybody got pissed. Anybody could have. Everybody got pissed because nobody did it. We're not there anymore. you know, it was up to the associations to get people into this industry. No, it is our responsibility to get them in. And that is by garage, by garage, by garage. Mario.
To answer your question, I've heard many say that why would I train a tech that would just leave me after I train them?
Here's the secret. Here's the secret, Mario. That's a great question. I'm going to train you like you're going to stay forever, and I'm going to treat you like you could leave every day. What's that? Golden handcuffs. I'm going to do everything I can to keep you with me. Connection is part of it. Does that make sense? And we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes. But retention's a big deal. Okay? Retention's a big deal, and that's our next one. But do you get what I'm saying here? Grow the team. There's so many resources today. You trip over resources. Scanner Danner. How many belong to Scanner Danner? Oh my God, everybody should belong to Scanner Danner. Right? What is it, $11 a month?
Very cheap.
Yeah, and it's so good. The days of being a boss and like my dad saying, go do this, and my answer was, yes, sir. I asked why. I usually got a size 11 up my backside. Okay? That is not the way it is today. Today it's different. Today it's not the age of compliance, it's the age of commitment. So we've got to be able to be a mentor for them. We've got to appreciate them. You know, we take our help for granted. Like when we think about it, we're glad. But here, I want you to just do me a favor. Close your eyes for just one sec and imagine your shop without them in it. Imagine that you're all by yourself again. How would that feel? That would suck, yes? So we need to appreciate these people. And we got to get to know them. We got to get to know everything we can about them. What's their wedding date? What's their birthday? What's their kids' birthdays? What's their wife's birthday? What's their favorite restaurant? What's their favorite sport? What magazines do they like? What shows do they watch? What are their sizes for clothes? I want to know everything. What's their favorite candy bar? I want to know everything I possibly can about the team that I have, because I can only show appreciation in something they appreciate. So the lady that makes these up, Sandy, used to work for ADP. And she used to do this stuff for ADP. And one of the things, there was a time when she was doing this really big project, she got it done on time, her and her team. And what happened was her vice president of training or whatever it was, gave her a $50 Starbucks card. How cool is that? But here's the thing. Sandy walked away feeling terrible because she hates Starbucks. So was that a plus, neutral, or a minus? It was a minus. It wasn't even a neutral, because she walked away thinking my manager doesn't even know anything about me. Our job is never to accept our team where they're at today. Our job is to appreciate where they're at and expect them to grow. Every single day. We're never done growing. And then always have their back. I do not throw anybody under the bus in my company. There was an email that went out and 3 people, there was a mistake in it, 3 people let me know about it. And I replied back, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, it won't happen again. I will give them the credit and I accept the blame. Right? Buck stops here. Great book. If you ever want to read a book, Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews, absolutely amazing. And I'm going to recommend you get the audio version. Andy does an amazing job reading that book. The Traveler's Gift. It will change your life. I'm going to tell you that right now, your team feels like the rules change every day based on how your mood is. And it's because you don't have it documented. Right? So get those rules of engagement, communicate them, listen to them, help them achieve their goals, and then challenge them. Right? I've already said it, constant and never-ending improvement, and you got to make it safe for them. They've got to make mistakes when they are learning. Mistakes are a byproduct of learning. Mistakes are part of the process of learning. If Josh, right? If Josh is a tech, he's working, he makes a mistake on something he's never done before, and I come at him with both barrels, what are the chances Josh is, number one, going to tell me he made a mistake? Not next time. He's going to do everything he can to hide it. But here's the second thing. What did I just do to him wanting to grow? I stifled it. He's not going to want to put himself out there again. He wants to stay safe. So I've got to make growing safe. Now, if Josh does the same thing 3 times, that's not a mistake. That's a choice. We have a conversation about his choice and the error of his ways. Okay? But done with respect all the time.